We're gonna go over 4 key bench press variations that's gonna help you as an athlete, and we're gonna start right now. What's up everybody, it's Dave Miller from GarageStrength.com, and if this is your first time to the channel and you're interested in getting stronger, you wanna become a better athlete, you wanna be more explosive, you wanna use a whole bunch of bench press variations because you love the bench press, make sure that you like, you subscribe, and you ring that notification bell so we can help you become a beast. So one of the best exercises that you can do on the bench press for athletes is gonna be alternating dumbbell bench and even one arm dumbbell bench. And the reason why this is when you're focusing on unilateral movements, you've gotta have a little bit more of trunk coordination with your upper body. And that's one of the best benefits behind the alternating dumbbell bench is I can sit here and I can focus on holding that neutral grip and pressing and alternating side by side, okay? And this is gonna force me to have more time under tension, and it's also gonna force me to hold the dumbbell in a precarious position and then light it up when I'm getting out of the hole. And so I like to utilize that as a way to start to stimulate some serious growth in my athletes. And then after we do that, we get into a more advanced version, which is gonna be the one arm dumbbell bench. And hopefully I can get right into this without falling off the bench. But this movement, the one arm dumbbell bench, is a progression off of the alternating dumbbell bench. And this can be very, very challenging, but it's really effective for offensive linemen. It's really effective for linebackers. It's effective for boxers. It's effective for fighters. It's effective for shot putters. Okay, so if we can go back, we're gonna sit here. We wanna squeeze hard through our abs, so much so that we're clenching the glute and then press. Here, press. And you wanna try and feel what your abs are doing while you're in this position. And this is gonna carry over really, really well to the athletic world. It's gonna help that transition from the bench press over into the sporting world. It's gonna be one of those key exercises that you can utilize to enhance your sports performance. One of my favorite bench press variations that I love to utilize for athletes is gonna be the incline close grip bench. Typically, if we've got a bench press setup on the incline, we might be 18 to 24 inches apart, depending on how tall you are, how long your arms are. I wanna get that grip to be almost about shoulder width apart. And the reason why I love incline close grip is because it really lights up your triceps. So if you have an athlete, or if you are an athlete that struggles with the lockout, you struggle, maybe you're a running back, you struggle with throwing that stiff arm, you're a shot putter, you struggle with finishing at the end of the throw because your triceps are a little weak. This is the movement that will light you up and help you hit monster PRs. It's gonna help you on the bench press, on the normal bench press as well. So one of the key things here is when you get set up, try to find out, if this is my normal setup right here, okay, a little bit wider, I'm gonna move in about 4 to 6 inches, and I'm gonna have my knurling right here is where the knurling starts. For me, I'm about 6'1". My hands are gonna go right outside that knurling. And what we're gonna try and focus on is that when we get down to the bottom, your triceps are gonna be super lengthened, and we're gonna try and explode rapidly off the chest. Your chest is also gonna be lengthened quite a bit, so this is gonna carry over well for the pecs too. So if we can get here, we're gonna bring this down, okay? Nice and deep, try to touch the chest, drive up fast. So with that narrow grip, you're going to destroy your triceps. You're gonna hit that, it's gonna help you extending, it's gonna help you finish, it's gonna help if you're an offensive lineman, it's gonna carry over really well to the sporting world. So one of my favorite all-time bench press variations that I like to utilize for my athletes is a pad bench. And so there's a couple reasons why I like the pad bench. One, if we have an athlete that really struggles on the lockout, we can go very, very heavy, and we can really focus on coming off the chest and right after the chest into that mid-range locking out. So it will drastically improve the lockout position for any athlete, shot putters, offensive linemen, linebackers, anybody that's gonna use a bench press, it's gonna help with that bench press lockout. On top of that, if I have an athlete who struggles with controlling the eccentric portion and actually getting a good stretch shortening cycle. We can focus on going a little bit slower on the eccentric, and then as we get close to the pad, we can light up a little bit quicker, and we can get higher threshold motor unit recruitment, which is gonna help with that drive. And then finally, when I'm peaking our shot putters or our discus throwers or our football players, our wrestlers, whatever we're doing, we like to utilize that pad bench for just good, strong speed. We'll do sets of 5 timed at 315. For females, we'll do sets of 5 timed at 185 or 225. In that timed set at 5 reps, that's gonna show us what type of shape they're in, how well they've adapted. And so what we can do is we can get a small foam pad here, a little Airex pad, whatever brand. You can put this under your shirt, you can put this on your chest, and I'm gonna demonstrate first if we've got somebody who struggles with the lockout, we can think about taking this off, nice and controlled, boom, and back up, okay? So we get that nice little bounce right off the pad, and that pad's gonna protect it, so then you're getting right to that mid-range, and you have to accelerate through the finish. Now, if we're talking about time sets, or we wanna really engage our shoulder girdle, have a little more stability, have a little bit faster speed in the bench press, and having that greater stretch shortening cycle all throughout the pecs in conjunction with our triceps, we can do a time set that would look a little bit more like this. So now what that's doing is it's training our nervous system to move heavy weight very, very quickly. And so if we can think about it, here's a good example in the bench press versus a shot put. A shot putter will throw 13 to 14 meters per second. Discus throwers, 24 meters per second. A standard bench press will be done at half to 1 meter per second. We throw in the pad, we can get 6 to 7 meters per second very, very quick. That's gonna close the gap, okay? It's gonna close the gap between the weight room and the athletic field, and that's gonna help tremendously with sports performance. All right, so all you strength coaches out there, we're gonna get a little bit of heat. We're all gonna cry because we like to do the decline bench. Okay, so a lot of strength coaches will, oh, the decline bench is worthless. They'll claim that the decline bench is worthless, but yet they'll still have their athletes do dips, which makes no sense because dips is essentially a more declined pressing movement. Think about this decline is a tool. It's a tool for you to get stronger. It's a tool to improve your lockout, to improve elbow extension, to improve your shoulder girdle strength, to improve your pec strength. If we have stronger pecs and we have stronger triceps, now we're gonna be able to do things a little more effectively. One of the things I love to do on the decline, I like to use a fat bar, okay? We have a 2.5 inch bar. We're fortunate here, okay? We're fortunate to have this 2.5 inch bar. If you don't have this, you can use fat grips, you can use a towel, you can just use a standard barbell. It doesn't have to be a fat bar, but I love using the fat bar on the decline. What happens is a lot of athletes, if they are benching, if they're doing a flat bench, and they tend to roll their elbows out. They start to like push away from the rack. And what I wanna see, that's typically going to be a little bit of a weak tricep drive, keeping those tris underneath the elbows. And that's what the decline can train. And that training carries over to a bigger bench press, which then carries over to the sporting world, depending on what sport you're doing. Okay, so what I like to do here on the decline, and I don't know why I've always declined with one leg up. It was like a habit I had, I think mainly from throwing, because I saw a video of Ulf Timmerman benching with his left leg up when I was like 16 or 17 years old, and ever since I've still been doing that. But we're gonna get on the decline, okay? We're gonna establish that grip. We're gonna take this off, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna lower, we're gonna get a little quarter and back up. Little quarter bounce, back up. Quarter, back up, okay? So I like to utilize that decline because it lights up the triceps. You add that little stretch reflex in there with the 1 1/4 rep. That's gonna help you continuously make those gains. It's a range that's typically not trained. We put on the fat bar, and now you have to have a little bit more control. So you're recruiting higher threshold motor units at a greater rate because of the 1 1/4 and because you're using that fat bar. And when you're on the decline, it's gonna help those triceps in the lockout position. It's gonna help you become a better bench presser. It's gonna help you break through tons of plateaus. It's also gonna help you in any sport that you need that elbow extension. So if you need help with bench press variations that are gonna help your sports performance, you can click on the link down below. You can head over to garagestrength.com and you can pick up our Plateau Breaker bench press program. That's gonna help you break through those plateaus and become a better athlete. If you want more information and content around bench press training, click on this card right here. Until next time, guys, peace.